You're listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
Here goes AD. Throwing it down! How about a poster? Anthony Davis is on fire!
You're listening to the Pelicans post-game report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, we are the Pelican post-game report on the PRO Media Network. Welcome to today's show, family. Episode 181 on the podcast, and we're going to recap the Pelicans' 131-123 win over the Portland-Trailblazers, utterly sweeping the Trailblazers clean on out the door, get up out of here, and get us ready for the next semifinal round as we prepare to take on
I don't think
either Golden State.
I think they vacuum cleaned them. It was a little worse.
Whatever it was, DC, they gave them the business. They gave them the business.
No stone unturned.
Absolutely. But before we get started with the talk, we'd like to give you a round of applause for joining. That's right, you listening, you right there. Thank you for joining us today on the Pelican Post Game Report. That's also for our subscribers. That's also for the people that share the show, the people that comment, all the wonderful supporters, the people that donate, everybody. Thank you very much for what you do on the Pelican Post Game Report and other programs as well. This is an excellent show, people. This is one of those great victory shows, and that I'm just loving it right now. If you're a Pelican fan, you can't help but to be extremely proud of your team. They sweep the Portland Trailblazers, clean out the pastures, 4-0, and sit well rested, well positioned for whoever they're gonna face. We know it's gonna be Golden State. Somebody, whoever is, we know it's gonna eventually be Golden State. Eventually, they're gonna close out the series with San Antonio. Maybe tonight, maybe next week sometimes, but we'll be patiently waiting. In today's podcast, I'm Big Q, of course, and co-hosting with me in studio today is Pelican contributor DC. What's going on, DC?
I'm chilling, man. I decided to show up today.
Okay, there he is. He decided to show up, fam. So
I missed a few shows, but I'm back.
We're good to have him here. But like today, we're gonna go down the rundown. We're gonna talk about what we have today for you guys. We're going to talk about like I said, the final win to knock off the Trailblazers. We're going to recap the game with stats, facts, and interviews from Coach Al Gentry. Anthony Davis, who was the player of the game, Jrue Holiday, and Rajon Rondo. We'll have those guys chime in with their opinions. We also have play for you an exciting post-game clip of Coach Al Gentry congratulating his team after sweeping his team in the first round. We'll play some of that later on in the podcast. Also, we'll talk about AD, how awesome he was in this game. 47 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 blocks in the game. We also going to talk about Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday found his rhythm in this game. Better yet, Jrue Holiday found his inner Kobe, his inner Michael Jordan. That's the best way to put it. He found his inner Jordan and Kobe as he put up 41 points and 8 assists in this episode. Just wonderful. Jrue Holiday has just been on a whole nother level. Also, we're going to talk about the Pels defense, which was tremendous this entire series. Just was beautiful and wonderful in this game, even though Portland did put up more points in this game than any other particular game. And it was awesome just seeing the Pelicans respond to whatever movements that Portland made. If cj-mccollum, who went off for 38 points, when he hit a three-pointer, Pelicans come back with their own a key defensive play, a block, a dunk, something, always keeping the momentum of that ruckus crowd in the Smoothie King Center, which was electric, which was fantastic. And you know what? When we was watching this game, DC,
right,
I could not help but to think about all of the other series that we've watched over time, watching other people's teams, whether it was in Oklahoma City, watching their crowd get raucous for their Thunder team, or watching what Cleveland do.
When they first took off, like when they was playing the Lakers.
Well,
they first got the ball rolling.
Right. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. To see the crowd and how consistently over the years that team became a perennial playoff team. Now, you know, they've been in the playoffs, and
We
that crowd has
definitely
been there.
turned
So
the corner when you looking
I
at it
love
like
that, man.
Yeah. This
I
is a
love that.
franchise changing moment what we went through. I mean, you got to understand.
Well said.
This is the first time in franchise history that we swept the team.
That's big news.
I
Real
mean,
big.
before this, the fans would just be happy to be in the playoffs because that was a big thing. But we've been in the playoffs, I mean, several times now between the Hornets and the Pelicans. So it's like, all right, we're in the playoffs. Well, what are we going to do this time? We here. So, nobody gets excited about them being in the playoffs now. And then they go in and be the first team. It's all kind of records they broke. It was at least 3 or 4 I could count. I'm probably missing some. But they was the first team to sweep the number 3 seed as a 6 seed. First time this has ever happened since 2011 when they changed the format to a 7-game series again. So you got that going on. Then you got the first time of this being sweeping, I guess, franchise history. Then you also have AD and Jrue Holiday combined for 88 points. That's the most points ever in playoff history by a duo. Just edging out
it's tied,
names like Michael Jordan.
Well, they said
and
they
Scottie
tied it.
Pippen.
Yeah, I seen that stat. That was real interesting.
It was a
47.
tie, or was it?
It was tied for the most.
It's tied for the most. Okay.
Yeah, it was tied for most.
But still,
most points since by a duo since 1973.
That is very impressive,
amazing,
man. So
man.
when you see that going on and you got the fans paying attention to that, maybe not even aware of the stats, but just seeing that, this is a special moment.
You said yourself, and well said, this is a franchise changing moment. Now I got to agree with you on that. And then, of
Ain't
course,
no going back from here. If you keep everything together,
on the sky's the limit.
We can't even
point.
talk bad about Al Gentry, man. I mean, you can't say anything negative based on what they did.
A lot of people booing Al Gentry, but I understand that.
I mean, it was understandable. He made some questionable moves from time to time.
Right.
You can't say nothing bad about him.
No,
now.
he
What
got
did
the
do?
win. He got the win. Bottom line.
And look at his playoff record at 16-9. I mean,
Right. Well, he's a winner in the playoffs.
You got to give props, man.
But not anywhere else in the regular season. He pretty
Ain't that
much
way you
sucks,
want to win?
Yeah, if you can get him there, if he can get you there. But anyway, we're gonna finish the rundown here.
Well, you got to get to the playoffs to have you got to get to the playoffs to have a winning playoff record.
That's how
right?
it usually go. So we're gonna preview the Golden State Warriors or the San Antonio matchup with the Spurs in the semifinal round with stats and predictions on the other side of the of the break, and then that's pretty much the rundown. Let's get right into it, DC. We covered a lot just now, but before
we're still running down.
Now we are done with the rundown.
I thought we was on level surface.
We on level surface now, and to let you know that we are there, let's listen to what Coach Al Gentry has to say about the Pelicans.
With his jubilant self.
Fantastic win to close out the series against the Trailblazers.
I'd just like to thank Kobe Bryant and his Kobe ones because if he didn't have those nice Kobe ones, he probably would have been down on the sideline. But because he was wearing those good old Kobe ones, his heels was up and he wasn't out of bounds, and that's how we got the ball back. How's that for kissing ass? Okay. All right, go ahead. So thanks, Kobe.
Thank you, Kobe.
When you break that down, when he breaks down the game tonight, I hope you put that in.
I mean, can you just start off talking about the performance of Jrue and AD night combining for 88 points, carrying the team in the fourth quarter the way they did?
We knew that this game was going to be extremely hard. It doesn't really matter. You can play any kind of way you want to, but when you play a team in this league and when you play a team that has guys like, Dame and CJ and Aminu and guys like that on the team, they still have pride and they're still going to go out and compete at the highest level. And so we knew that it was going to have to be, we were going to have to play probably our best game of this series in order to win. And I thought Jrue and AD stepped up big. But we also had other guys that had timely baskets, timely things for us. And, those guys really kind of got loose tonight. They changed a couple of things that was very good, and they made a couple of adjustments that was very good to kind of keep some of the double teams off those guys. But I still thought in the end, offensively, we were really, really good, and we shot the ball extremely well. And I thought that when we had to make a couple of defensive plays, we did. Well, I mean, I think in a closeout game and with the magnitude of the situation, this has probably been the best game he's played since I've been here. He just was not going to let us lose. So I thought that was really good. What do you think the way you guys responded with that physical? I'm surprised that it took this long because, if you look at all the other series, you look at Philly and Miami and, Boston and Washington, it's just going to get chippy when you play a team, more than, you're going to play them at least 4 times. Then things are going to get a little chippy. The thing that we talked about is that we have to just keep our composure, and our emphasis and our concentration should be on executing offensively and defensively, and try to stay away from any of that.
Can you reflect at all on over the voice of God over here?
I'm sorry, I was looking at
Can you reflect at all on just this year? DeMarcus goes down, people count you out. 3 weeks left in the season, it looks like you're on the outs, a 4-game losing streak. Your owner passes away. There's a lot that's happened, and then all of a sudden everything seems to have gone right.
It really has been an interesting year. We have DeMarcus. We finally think that we have it figured out how we could play those 2 guys and do it effectively. And, I think we won 7 out of 9. We win a big game against Houston, team that ended up winning 65 games this year. And then DeMarcus goes down, and we really have to reboot and start all over again, really. And I thought our guys struggled, about 3 or 4 games, but then kind of realized that we still had enough talent, especially when we added Nico, that we had enough talent that we would reinvent ourselves and we would play a certain way, and that was going to help us. And that's basically what we did. And then when it came down to the last week of the season, obviously we were in a position where we had to win every game, and so we talked to the guys about that being our playoff. We had to treat that like the playoffs, and I thought they responded well. And then to win 4 straight games against this team with the backcourt that they have, and with Nurkic is a load in there, and so and then Aminu, we were going to make him make shots, and he did a good job. He responded and made shots. But I thought overall this is a really they're a resilient group. They really are, and I think AD is maturing and becoming a better leader and a better player every day. I think Jrue, like I said at the start of the season, I think he was going to have his best season ever, and he's really hard. The last 50 games we've been the 4th best defensive team in the league. So, we've taken care of that situation, and we always felt offensively that some kind of way we would be able to, we would be able to manufacture offense when you have, the kind of talent offensively that we have on the floor.
That's Coach Al Gentry. Had a very long-winded interview there. The Pelicans did extremely well in this game, 57%.
He learned how to breathe out the water, man. The drunken fish is coming into his own, bro.
Drunken fish is off the bottom.
The sauce, huh?
Yeah, 57% from the field. The Pelicans shot against 52%. Or you might as well average it off, say 53% from the Trailblazers. 36% from downtown. Portland had 37%. The Pelicans had 14 turnovers. Portland only had 6. New Orleans had 52 rebounds versus 37 by the Trailblazers. Also, the Pelicans had more assists with 28-20 over them. They had more blocks, 6-2. And, of course, despite the fact that the Pelicans had 14 turnovers, they only allowed, DC, 9 points off of those?
13 points.
13 points.
14 turnovers.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
And we got 9 points off of their 6 turnovers.
So pretty much that was neutralized. But the Pelicans did everything they were supposed to do in this game. Fantastic effort by them as a team. I'm very proud of this team.
The referees actually called fouls for once. Man, my God. I was like, what? We getting calls?
It was amazing, DC, because
they were being very, very, very aggressive. They
were
very physical.
They were very physical.
Had to call
but Portland knew that they had to try to knock the Pelicans.
To do something, man.
Upset them mentally. And the Pelicans said, "Look, man, we're stronger than that. You're not gonna elbow me in the chest, Ed Davis to Anthony Davis, or you have the rookie from Portland, Collins, who when Rondo slaps the ball out of his hand on a dead ball."
I don't think
he turns around and tells Rondo F you.
Foul for that, man.
Tells Rondo F you.
He got a flagrant foul for slapping the ball out of his hand.
Yeah, and then he pushes Rondo. Then you had Etwan Moore, who was pulled around the neck by cj-mccollum, which Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley said that's not a real foul. Guys, we're not playing 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
This league is it's officiated similar to a lot of the big Euro leagues now. It's basically, and some people would say, even Chris Webber would say that the Euro League is more physical than the NBA. So that's showing you in which direction the league is going. But each one more, they try to get chippy, but the Pelicans stayed within their mind frame. How many free throws? 39 free throws. The Pelicans converted 32 of those for 82% field. 82% shooting from the free throw line.
Attempted 79 shots and the Blazers attempted 95. I guess credit that to all the free throws.
Exactly.
It looked like they got way more shots up than us.
It's a lot, man, and it's a lot to cover. When we come back, we'll finish up on our interviews. Got AD, Jrue, and the guys coming up. We have the celebratory interview with Coach Al Gentry addressing his team. We got all the topics, and then the preview of the Golden State of San Antonio matchup on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Pelican Post Game Report Playoff Edition on the PRO Media Network. Stay with us.
Get all the latest news and updates from your New Orleans Pelicans at the Pelicans Eye View, the new and official Pelicans Daily Journal, covering everything Pelicans.
Attention, everyone.
Get breakdown on games, free agent signings and potential moves, unbiased opinions and straight up facts with statistical analysis from G Balance. Go to www.thesportsdaily.com/Pelicans-I-View.
I'm a Saints and Pelicans fan, so the only podcast I can get my fix is The Sports Coma with Big Q. The guy's intense, funny, and they always keep it real.
Check out The Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
What's up, sports world? It's Big Q from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Talking to you about the website, theposhlifestyle.com. That's right, poshlifestyle.com. A great website where you can get great products at great prices. They sell organic herbs, vitamins, supplements, water filters for your home, EMF and cell phone radiation protection, healing magnetics and healing crystals, personal protection devices like cell phones, stun guns, and mace sprays, organic deodorants, shampoos, soaps, toothpaste, and more. They also sell 10A grade Brazilian hair. 10A music is available now. All kind of the latest downloadable mixtapes. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to theposhlifestyle.com. That's the Posh Lifestyle, life spelled with a Y, LYFE style.com. Put in the Sports Coma for the 10% discount on your purchase. It's a win-win. So get your mind and body right with the Posh Lifestyle.
Forget ESPN or Fox. Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
All things Pelicans, we are the Pelican postgame report on the PRO Media Network Playoff Edition podcast. People pleased, Pelicans, Plummer, Portland. You see the theme here is all P's, I just got carried away with it. But anyway, it all makes sense, don't it, fans? Pelican family, congratulate yourselves and your teams and bask in the glory of a tremendous, excellent sweeping of a very quality club. Bottom line, this was well done. Well done. All the struggles that this team has been through the season, the injuries, the loss of Tom Benson, they have not forgotten. And they are using it to propel themselves even further into the playoffs. And guess what? Like Anthony Davis, Rajon Rondo, Jrue Holiday, nikola-mirotic, Al Gentry, all uniformly are saying at the same time that we just didn't want to make the playoffs, but we want to make some noise and then win a series or two. That's what Anthony Davis said before the playoffs even started. But look at it. They're making a lot of noise and breaking the record books as usual. This has been a very interesting year. DC, quick thoughts on what I just said, buddy, before we get to the congratulatory interview by Coach Al Gentry.
Oh, you definitely right, man. I mean, nobody expected the Pelicans to go ahead and sweep the Portland-Trailblazers, especially not Stephen A., right? So this is very record-setting and record-breaking, and AD put an exclamation point on it with basically a 50-point game, man, in the playoffs, which was a career high for the Pelicans, and it was a very smooth and easy 47 points. So,
I mean, yeah, you're right, DC. Effortless almost.
Right. You know, he didn't even try that hard. It's like, oh, y'all giving me the ball again? All right, I guess I'll score. You know, it's amazing to see what they're doing. And unlike other people, I don't think they've reached their pinnacle. I think this is like them scratching the surface.
That's amazing, bro.
You know, Mirotic only had 10 points, and we still dropped 131. What if he would have chipped in? What if everybody fires on all cylinders for one game? What do you have? Like Rondo with a 16-point game, Mirotic putting up 25, 30, Jrue dropping 35, AD dropping 35, 40. Like, I mean, they probably would all be resting by 6-7 minutes in the fourth quarter.
You know what, DC? You know, you make a lot of great and valid points. I'm just absolutely dumbfounded by the efficiency about this club, how they went about doing their business.
Everybody's efficient in their starting lineup.
Right. It's
no wasted motions.
Nothing. Everything is absolutely tremendous. And like I said from the previous show, a couple of shows, my question was the character. Does this team have the attack dog or the killer instinct? The finish series, well, they answered my damn question.
Killer instinct is a Great White, I guess.
They answered my damn question. But anyway, here's Coach Al Gentry from the locker room celebration after they swept those pesky Trailblazers.
I can't tell you how proud I am of what you guys have done. You know, I just think that, you know, you guys always go into that press conference and talk about playing for each other. I mean, I think that's the greatest thing that you can do. It really is. I think we're so locked in, and everybody is so pulling so hard for each other that, you know, hey, we got a lot more work to do, but they better know that we're coming, okay? All right, hold up. Speed.
I am so proud of y'all. Y'all swept them away. You kicked butt. Thank y'all so much. It was a great game. Great run. Thank you.
Baby feeling. Let him sleep. They've been sleeping on him since he went down. They think he's going to be able to make it. We come here and do something special. They keep sleeping on us, like I always say, let them sleep.
Congratulations. You're great. Happy. Proud of this team. And ready to go for the next round.
Together on three. 1, 2, 3. Together.
I can't tell you how.
That's the celebratory post-game locker room as the classy Gail Benson came out to greet the guys. DeMarcus Cousins was in the building, of course. And, of course, we got to give a lot of love to Gail Benson, man, because she, you know, lost her husband, and she's been nothing but the personification of class and stability.
Holding it well, man.
You're right, with all of that heaped on her, the stuff dealing with the Saints and the Pelicans, and she's been there every step of the way. She went to Portland when the team traveled there and stayed in Portland and attended every game, and she's been there all the time. So big ups to Gail Benson and the staff working with her in that capacity. DC, before we finish up the statistics, let's hear the interview from Anthony Davis, Jrue Holiday, and Rajon Rondo. They'll chime in with their thoughts on the series sweeping.
This is definitely part of the plan. I guess I wouldn't say that sweeping the 3 seed was a detail, but knowing when I was coming back, we had DeMarcus. We had always talked about Rondo coming. And, that was a part of the plan, making the playoffs. And obviously not knowing how far we'd go in the playoffs, but obviously making the playoffs was the plan. But to be here now, man, this is a good feeling, especially with these two right here and the rest of our team. It's, again, man, it's nothing but a blessing. Everything we went through this season, from big injuries to trades and all that, I think Anthony said it best. They were sleeping on us, and no, I think everybody counted us out. But to be here at this point right now feels pretty good. For sure. and I feel like the fans needed results, and that's what they've gotten. I feel like we come out and we play hard every night for them to try to win and to try to win games. And like Anthony said, it's just a part of all of our legacies here to be able to build something and continually build that.
I'm certain you guys didn't take a clinching game for granted, but can you talk about the second half when they were able to close the gap and make it a real tight game? What did you guys do in the huddle? What did you do on the floor to respond to that, to pull the game out?
Just because he's the floor general, I think he should say something.
You want me to start? But even when they closed the gap, we just try to stay poised, keep our composure. We were still winning, at home. So we just wanted to make sure that we, got 3 stops in a row and then executed on the offensive end. So, but though he leaves us on the floor. He talking to us defensively. There's times where, I was on a certain guy. He's telling me to go, or he's telling me to help. Stuff like that. So he's been good for us. But when they closed the gap, I think Jrue's job and Dozie's job on those 2 guards was tremendous. We were able to get some rebounds and then go execute on the offensive end.
Rajon, can you talk a little about what Anthony was saying, that you've been in his ear about being great and what's behind that message? And also, you said the other day how you thought you were joining the best Big 3 in the NBA when you came here. Was this as good of a Big 2 game and a big moment as you've seen?
I play with a lot of great players, and what I see in these 2 guys every night and what they're able to do when I go back and watch film, it's amazing what they do. And I'm a big believer in the entire team watching film, because you're able to appreciate what your teammates do, what they do best, and you're able to play to their strengths. So before each game, I always go to these 2 and tell them to be great. That's what they are, and the game spoke for themselves tonight. And I love playing with these guys. They're great teammates. They're great people off the court, and they made the game easier for me.
And you've seen some great playoff performances. You've had some great playoff performances. Where would you rank what those guys did tonight?
Given the situation, like you guys said, the way they came back and cut the lead within, I think, 2 or 3, we put the ball in these guys' hands and they delivered for us. So I got to put that up there as far as top 4 or 5 that I've seen with the pressure situation. Like I said, we didn't.
For sure.
I mean, given the situation, Paul against LeBron was the one that goes up there, Game 6 at the crib. But other than that, they've had some elite games, very efficient. I think they both shot 15 for 23, 24, or whatever. So couldn't ask for a better duo right now, especially the time need where we needed to get the ball in the hole. We put the ball in Jrue's hand. He made the right decisions and knocked down some big free throws.
Hey, Rajon, kind of following up on Mike's question there. When you came here, I think you were sitting there in September, and you said certain places you go, you may not be able to win, but you came here because you truly felt like you could win. How good can this team be now that these 2 you say want to be great, but now have a taste of success, have swept the team, have moved on to the second round? How far can this team go?
Well, like I said, I came here to win a championship. I didn't come here to beat a team in the first round or the second round. My expectations were high coming in, knowing that the talent I was playing with. I think day one when we all got together in Kentucky, I knew it was kind of real as far as the talent that we were playing with, the characteristics of the guys off the court. It kind of all meshed, and it took a while, but at the end of the day, nothing comes together so quickly, and we're able to come together, continue to play for one another, believe in each other. And like I said, this is just one check mark of the big goal that we have in mind. So
that's Rajon Rondo, man, chimed in along with Anthony Davis and Jrue Holiday, man, a fantastic trio of Pelicans that's responsible for an awesome win. So that's how we got it, man. To look at the game, DC, Anthony Davis finished the game 47 points, 11 rebounds. He had 3 blocks in the game. Very excellent game for Anthony Davis. Jrue Holiday was the second best man on the court. Defensively, him and Anthony Davis were parallel. 41 points for Jrue Holiday in this episode on 15 of 23 shooting from the field. He was excellent. 8 assists in the game. He was all over Lillard and McCollum. Switching his defense was fantastic as usual. And then, of course, Rajon Rondo, who wasn't a big scorer, but he did have 7 points with 16 assists and 7 rebounds.
Scoring.
So he got them going.
16 assists is scoring.
That's big time. Etwan, more big ups to Etwan, too, who got a little chippy in this game. He finished with a respectable 14 points on 5 of 10 shooting. from the field, and he was pretty good. And also big ups to Solomon Hill, who came in off the bench and played some real meaningful minutes. He had 17 minutes of play, 6 points and 4 rebounds. Solid
that
Hill.
Offensive rebound.
Exactly. Solly is still in a lot of Sheik's time on the court, but Solomon Hill is really he's seeing like he's really a lot of his game is returning now. You know, he had enough time to kind of shake the rust, and you can start seeing Solomon Hill playing with confidence moving forward. DC, go ahead and comment
see some
on
more minutes from him in this upcoming series against the Warriors. We're gonna need him for his defense and rebounding ability, because if he can get back to what he was, I mean, Solomon Hill, I know we bash him a lot on the show, but
yeah, you sure do.
In the position that he's in right now, coming off the bench 20, 25 minutes is like where you want to see him. I think he can be a very impactful guy. I just never saw Solomon Hill as like a starter or like a star of a team in the way we tried to employ him last year. But in this role that he has now, allowing him to make open shots when he has to, play defense and give us hustle and ability, I think he's more than capable to be able to do that. So shout out to Solomon Hill and Etwan Moore as well, man. He played a hell of a game too. We're not talking too much on him, but he hit a lot of big shots at key moments. He had 14 points, hit all his free throws, and just flat out stud, man. I mean, this whole series, he kind of just answered the bell every time. When we needed a shot, he was wide open. He didn't miss too much. Got 3 steals, you know, so he's playing defense too, man. Etwan Moore has been a hell of a player all year. Basically being a shooting guard, point guard, playing small forward for us.
When we talk about some of the great players, now we talked about AD being awesome. As I mentioned, one of the topics we talked about, his 47-11 and 3-block line that he dropped in this game. You know, he was spectacular as usual.
Right.
But we've grown accustomed to expecting that from the great superstar, the mega star that Anthony Davis is. Now, Jrue Holiday is a different animal.
Top 5 dead or alive.
Yeah. So Jrue Holiday is a different animal. He was an all-star in his final year in Philly, but that is nothing compared to what he became after the All-Star break into the playoffs. Let me give you some numbers.
Jrue Holiday is outplaying Russell Westbrook.
Let me give you some numbers on how great Jrue Holiday is. Now, we talking about, I mentioned it earlier in the show when we was doing a rundown, when I spoke about him finding his inner Jordan or his inner Kobe or whatever great player you want to attach to that. Dr. J.
Al Gentry let you know he had them Kobe's on. That's what kept us from getting that ball. Well, so he's definitely channeling his inner Kobe.
No doubt about it. Let's look at the 4 games in the postseason. Just to let you know, the 4 postseason games that Jrue Holiday has played in this year, he's averaged 37.5 minutes a game. He scored almost 28 points a game, 27.8 to be precise, rounding it off 28 points a game on 57% shooting. Now a lot of that he's attacking the paint, no doubt about it. But
I don't care what he attacking. 57% for a guard.
It's just
amazing.
It's just amazing.
You be happy when your guard's shooting about 44%.
That's true, and not to mention he's also excellent in terms of his off. He has 6.5 assists in the game, and he's just at the different level for Jrue Holiday. If Jrue Holiday wouldn't have turned his Kobe up in them, let's just say that, you know, if you hadn't channeled that into Kobe and rose to these levels, the Pelicans. I mean, because nikola-mirotic, you know, had a pretty modest game. His defense
modest by his standards, but he still had 10 points, 11 rebounds,
true, and
2 steals, and 3 blocks.
That's more supportive than anything.
Good, man.
But he didn't need to be fantastic in this game. As long as Anthony Davis gets him 47,
he played
and
41
Jrue
minutes,
Holiday gives him 41. 41 in 41 minutes, DC. Jrue Holiday, 41 minutes and 41 points in 41 minutes. Average a point a minute. Attacking the basket, playing, and not only that, not just scoring, but playing lights out Kobe-style defense. Bottom line, big ups to Jrue Holiday.
Kobe-style defense, what?
Kobe-style defense. Let me say it, goddammit. Jrue Holiday shut Damian-Lillard completely down.
I don't remember Kobe being a Kobe stopper. No,
Kobe was a top defender too.
He was a pretty
Don't
good
sleep
defender.
on Kobe.
He was
Come
a
on
good
now.
defender.
Okay, now let's move to our next thing.
I think Jrue Holiday playing a little above that level right now. On the defensive side.
Oh, well, that's a lot to say, man. But I ain't gonna talk against it because that's
I've been saying it all year.
$100 million man. This
Somebody,
guy, This guy is who you give $100 million to. This guy. The guy averaging 19 points a game and 28 points a game in the postseason.
Right. Who
now,
playing better defense than him right now, though? 6'4" and under.
Nobody.
People gonna say Paul George, maybe.
No,
I don't think
perhaps
even right now.
But
he's a better overall.
But
Paul George is pretty good.
A combo man, 41 points in 41 minutes, and he locking the people down. Jrue Holiday, man, top notch. All right, let's move on to our next topics and rapid fire. We're about to get into the preview in just a second, DC, quickly. We're going to go over this. We talked about the Pelicans having an electric environment. Man, I love to see the do it bigger, the red shirts, and the sea of red in the Smoothie King Center. I want to see that perennially going throughout like you see OKC, you go up there and you see them with the sea of blue, or when you turn on Cleveland and they got their shirts, or when Miami, how they did it when they had the all white jumpers, white shirts on and all this kind of stuff. The Pelicans, like you said yourself, a franchise changing moment here where this could set the parameters ahead for them to be a perennial playoff team. And perhaps even if they had DeMarcus Cousins were able to come back after he got hurt, let's say in an alternate universe that he got hurt, the trade was still made to get Nikola-Mirotic. They didn't shelve him on the IR. They saved the spot, and he was able to come back later in the season. We could be talking about a championship run here.
Yeah.
Quickly on that.
Most definitely, man. I mean, if you pair DeMarcus Cousins with what we have now, man, I mean, Rondo said it in an interview. We didn't have the time to finish it, but he said when he came here, he recognized Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, and Jrue Holiday as the best big three in the league. Now that's a lot, but that's what Rondo said he saw. And right now, looking at it, that wouldn't sound so crazy. DeMarcus Cousins is definitely the best center in the league. Anthony Davis is definitely the best power forward in the league. And based on what we're seeing with Jrue Holiday, you got to say he at least a top 5 guy right now in the postseason. I mean, he's probably the best shooting guard in the postseason right now, if you look up statistics and how he's playing. So they definitely could have turned this in, or they still can turn this into a championship run. I ain't going to say could have, but it would be a lot easier or a lot more understandable to say something like that with DeMarcus Cousins out there, because you're pretty much unstoppable, and you have nikola-mirotic to come off the bench or to start too. I mean, who do you stop and who do you let loose?
That's true. This team is an enigma for many people, and you have to have the personnel to be able to deal with it. No doubt about it. The leadership of Rajon Rondo to get everybody going, the talents of Jrue Holiday, and the talents of Anthony Davis. Nikola-Mirotic is the perfect bridge between Jrue Holiday and Anthony Davis. I mean, absolutely perfection. Then you look at the supporting cast of Etwan Moore, who's a pretty decent defender and three-point shooter. You got Ian Clark's championship experience and three-point ball off the bench. Strong men like Sheck Diallo and Solomon Hill coming off there, and Emeka Okafor. So this team is definitely a big chip on their shoulder moving forward. Now, moving forward, looking ahead, we've got a few minutes left to go on the show. Let's preview moving ahead, the games coming up. Now, of course, right now, as it stands, Golden State has a lead on the San Antonio Spurs. Ultimately, I think Golden State will definitely beat San Antonio, whether it's in 3 or whether it's in 4. Eventually, they'll get the win. Because, of course, San Antonio dealing with the tragedy of Popovich not being there because of his wife. His wife passed away.
That's a lot to take, man.
So they're really missing Pop. So maybe they might be able to put an emotional game together to not get swept. Looking at moving ahead, of course, I'm going to say Golden State. A lot of people who got sense going to say Golden State with me. The Pelicans struggled against this team in the regular season. A lot of teams struggled against this team. This team's good. The championship club. Pelicans, the season series ended with Golden State winning the season series 3-1. We ultimately won the final game match 126-120 on a run. The Pelicans have won 9 in a row, 5 in the regular season lead and 4 in the postseason. I'm counting everything because it counts. It all counts. It all works together. So with that saying, and what you know about the Pelicans and Golden State Warriors moving ahead, what's that series looking like to you, and who you think gonna win in the first game?
The first game, I definitely think the Pelicans are gonna take it. I think they go in there and they still won. They're gonna be vibing off of this momentum that they got going right now. Steph Curry is definitely not gonna play the first game. I think we're going to go in there and punch them in the mouth. But this is definitely going to be a 7-game series. Ain't no brooms. Going to be on either side. And it's going to go the distance, man. And only time will tell who wins the series. I love to say the Pelicans are just going to beat the Warriors, but that would be foolish. But we definitely, based on everything we saw from playing the Portland-trailblazers, we definitely can hang with them. And we're going to give a hell of a fight.
No doubt about it. I agree with you on that, man. Well said. You said the Pelicans going to get the first game in the matchup with them, and I agree with you. I think it'll be a 7-game series. I think the Pelicans are going to make it a battle. You know, I also know that Anthony Davis and Jrue Holiday had not forgot about when the Golden State Warriors, which Alvin Gentry demolished them.
What Alvin Gentry on the other side?
He was on the other side.
Team.
Remember that. And that also started that run of dynasty run because they won their first championship that year. That was their first one when they in the first matchup they sweep the Pelicans. So Gentry was an assistant coach on the other side. So there we go. But my call is that I will say that the Pelicans, I got to ride with my team, man. 9-game winning streak. The Pelicans is a team that you're going to have problems with.
Who won't play them right now? Who won't?
Not nobody. Nobody don't want a part of that. But anyway, thank you for joining us today on the Pelican Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network Playoff Edition. If you enjoy the show, like always, subscribe, share it with your family, share it with your folks. Say, listen to this show. I love these people. And if you feel good about us, donate to the platform to help us help build the platform at patreon.com/PRO Media Network. I'm Big Q. That's DC. From us, peace.
Forget ESPN or Fox. Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
What's up, world? This is DC from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Have you ever been sitting in front of your computer screen, or in traffic, tired, lacking energy, feeling drained? Did you know there are electromagnetic fields or EMF waves all around you that cause this disease? Get it? Dis-ease? Luckily here at Posh Lifestyle, you can get your EMF protection. They have pendants, the shell-dyed bricks, cubes, and pyramids. Check out the poshlifestyle.com. That's life spelled with a Y. POSHLYFESTYLE.com for all your health needs. So get your mind and body right with a Posh Lifestyle.
Clear, clean, great-tasting filtered water. We're all thirsty for it. But in the U.S. alone, an estimated 2.5 million plastic bottles are added to the environment each year in search of the perfect drink of water. There has to be a better solution, and there is. Crystal Quest, a leader in the manufacturing of water filtration technology, has been providing clean, drinkable water for 20 years. With a deep commitment to providing the highest quality products and excellent customer service, Crystal Quest has been recognized by such leaders as Consumers Digest, Dr. Oz, and Colin Ingram's The Water Drinking Book. Providing cost-effective, reliable water filtration systems for residential, commercial, and industrial customers worldwide, offering our customers the cleanest and most environmental-friendly drinking water at a rating of high purity. With Crystal Quest's water filtration technology, you can rest assured that your water will be crystal clear. Contact our network of authorized distributors and join our thousands of satisfied customers.
Just log into theposhlifestyle.com. Once again, that is theposhlifestyle.com.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
In today's world, children are bombarded with negativity on television, online, and at school. Our kids need to have a positive outlook on life and the world around them. I want to share with you a valuable resource you can use to bring positivity into your child's life. It's the new book, 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image, from author and dad, G.J. Barabino. This is a simple guide loaded with wonderful and inspirational affirmations designed to uplift young people's spirits. This positive and powerful children affirmational is chock full and loaded with wonderful inspirational sayings that will lift your child's self-image to whole new levels through the awesome power of spoken word. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image from author and dad G.J. Barabino. Available on Amazon. Order a copy for yourself, your child's teachers, or anyone you know with children. 101 Powerful Children Affirmations, a guide to positive child self-image. Order your copy today.
What is big? Big is taking flight. Big is sending back that weak sauce. Big is ball handling that sets the hardwood on fire. New Orleans Pelicans, do it big.